1, and we're going to read one verse, verse 27. Philippians chapter 1, verse 27. If you are not too tired, let me ask you to please stand while we are reading the word. Philippians chapter 1, verse 27. Only lead your lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or am absent, I hear your circumstances, that you are standing firm in one spirit, with one soul, contending side by side for the faith of the gospel. Thank you. You may be seated. Paul and Timothy address the letter to the Philippian church, and that letter was addressed to all the saints, the bishops, and the deacons. In the epistle of Paul, when we're talking about the saint, that was a reference to all the congregation, the members of the church. As church members, we are the saint. And that's the way the Bible classifies us, as saint. And if you are coming to church, you know some people who are not sanctified. You not to go outside and talk about them. You not to do anything wrong or on the back, but you need to pray for the Lord to sanctify their lives, because all of us, we need to be sent. Whether we are young or old, we are a congregation of saints. When we sing, when we pray, our songs and our prayers need to go before the throne of God and come back upon us with blessings and benedictions. And Paul addressed the saint in the church of Philippi. And from chapter 1, verse 1, until chapter 2, verse 4, there is one subject that Paul treated: unity. He wanted the church to be unified, to be united. He wanted the church to be one. And that is the theme we have in this church at PCN for this semester: unity. It is something very important for our lives. Young people, old people, children, we need to live in unity. When we live in unity, we have a lot of blessings following us. And Paul wanted the church to live a life of consistency. We need to be consistent in our conduct. Fulfill your duties as citizens worthy of the gospel of Christ. This is a most comprehensive view of the duty of those who profess to believe in the gospel. One of the problems today, a lot of people say something and they do something else. But our conduct is the best instrument to demonstrate to the world who we are. the way we conduct ourselves in the society, in the neighborhood, in the church, in school, at work, wherever we are, the way we conduct ourselves say a great deal about who we are. People may not say anything to us, but they will observe us. The way we speak, the way we act, what we do. That grabs people's attention. And Paul wanted the church to have a life of unity. And he said that whether I come and see you or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that you stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. People who knew us when we were little, young boys, young girls, and people, the same people after 20, 30 years, and they see us having the same faith, doing the same good things, the same wonderful things, that will tell them a lot about us. Sometimes we speak without opening our mouth. They don't hear our voice, but we are speaking. And the Bible says that Abel, even though he's dead, is still speaking because of his good word. And in the same way, today, us, in this church, in this community, we may come here day by day, day after day, week after week, month after month, and we don't say much, but we're speaking very loudly. Our conduct speaks. And Paul wanted us to have a unity of heart, in one spirit, with one mind or one soul. Unity of heart consists not in uniformity of opinion or belief, but in identity of supreme purpose and love. At times we may have a choir, we may have a group, they have a uniform. They have the same color of shirt, the same color of skirt, whatever, but they're not together. Uniformity is not unity. We're talking about unity. We are in the same spirit, the same mind, and we're striving together to do what we believe. And when we have that unity of life or mind and spirit, not only we attract the attention of the world, but it is a benefit for our own selves. And Paul wanted them to have not only the unity of heart, but he wanted to have them the unity of labor. What is the labor? Striving together for the faith of the gospel. Or more properly, with the faith of the gospel. We do it for the faith of the gospel, and we do it with the faith of the gospel. The united of labor must steadfast. Stand fast. We started to do it yesterday. We continue to do it today. And we continue to do it tomorrow. The united of labor must be striving together. And in this passage, Paul used a military term or a military idea. When the soldiers are working, when the soldiers are fighting, they do it together. And Paul transformed the idea of the military, of the group into the church. As a church, we are an army of God, and we must do it together. We do not have the same opportunity. We do not have the same strength. We do not have the same ability, but we still can do it together. And they give us the story of the elephant and the mouse. The elephant is very heavy, many pounds. And the mouse is a very small little animal. And there was a bridge to cross. And the elephant is so heavy, and he started to cross the bridge. And the mouse, just fly into the back of the elephant and sit there. But the elephant is so heavy, crossing the bridge, and after they finish crossing the bridge, and the mouse fly down. And he said, hey, we shake the bridge. So the strength, the weight of the elephant is so different from the strength and the weight of the mouse. But together, they were on top of the bridge, and together, they shake the bridge. And in the church, when we are in unity, whatever is done well for the benefit of all of us. Whatever is done wrong is done for against all of us. And that is the reason why we need to encourage each other. We need to work with each other in everything. When the children ministry is working, all the children need to learn together to encourage each other. But we do not have to bully them or to go against them, to call them names. Some of them are smarter than others. It doesn't matter. But we are in it together. And when I was a little child, all the childs need to call me names. Used to call me names. They give you all kinds of names. Sometimes you feel very sad because, they call your name and you're not happy about that. That was not the best thing to do. And today, that is not the best thing to do to your friends at school, in the church, in the neighborhood. You need to be together with them, united together, to do it together. And one of the things we did when we were growing up, young in Haiti, and when we go to school, we did not have many books, because in that country, we don't have all the books you guys have here. We have to take notes. But when we go to school, we work by group. We have chemistry, algebra, mathematics, you name it. And we have a board, and all of us come together. Whatever difficult problem we have, whatever the thing is, we can have some algebra problem. It's difficult to solve. Some physics problem are difficult to solve. But when the group come together, and we stand together, we sit together in front of that board, I don't care what it is, we will come with the solution to go to school tomorrow morning. And all of us get good grade because we did it together. And when we not in the same mind, in the same spirit, we don't work together, we all fail. And that's still true today. In school, at home, at church, wherever we are, when we work together in unity, we are successful. And I have four short lessons in this passage that Paul explained to the Philippian church. And he said, only lead your lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or am absent, I hear your circumstances, that you are standing firm in one spirit, with one soul, contending side by side for the faith of the gospel. For the faith of the gospel. Whatever we do not do it for ourselves alone. We will benefit from it, but we do it for the faith of the gospel. Hear what Paul explained to them in verse 27. Lead your life in a worthy way. Live your life in a worthy way. 4 lessons. Lesson number 1. The worthy way of the gospel means the believers, you and I, we must live, preach, and teach what we believe. And people who are observing us will see who we are. And in the same spirit, in the same soul, this is the theme of the unity that we discovered on Philippians 1, verse 1, until Philippians 2, verse 4. And the theme is very important. This country is called the United States of America. For many, many years, for many, many decades, this country was the greatest country of the world. And people from everywhere wanted to come to America. And they had a team in this country. In God we trust. But what have you observed for the past many years? This country is no longer united. The Democrats, they have their agenda. The Republicans, they have their agenda. When they go to Washington, they try to kill each other. So they no longer fight for the country. They fight for the interests of a group. And as a result, the country is going down the hill. The country is sinking because they're no longer united. And we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen. But this is not the same. This is not the same country it was many years ago. And it's been a few years. I don't know how many years. There were some American missionaries who went into Russia. And a citizen of Russia asked the missionaries, why you call your country the United States of America? What makes the difference between you and us? The missionary reached to his pocket and he pulled out a quarter. And he said, you see our money? In God we trust. And the Russian citizen said, oh, American is going out his way, and we are coming in. There's no country in the world that preaches the gospel more severely, more seriously than America. But there's no country in the world that transgress the gospel more than America. So we're not consistent. We're not coherent. We say something and we do something else. But Paul is talking to the church at Philippi and said, only lead your lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. And today, America does not lead its life in a manner worthy of the gospel we preach. We change things around. We change the nature of things. We transgress the rules and the laws of God, and we make our own. And as a result, our children are in drugs, our children are in prison, our children are shooters, our schools are disorganized, and everything is upside down because we say something and we do something else. And consequently, at times, the church is tempted to do the same. We say something and we do something else. But we need to be coherent. We need to be consistent. And we need to lead our lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Here are the lessons. 4 lessons. Lesson number 1, when we lead our life worthy in the gospel of Christ, the only foundation is Christ, and it is the necessity of unity to win the spiritual battle. We are in a spiritual battle. So in order to win that spiritual battle, we need to lead our lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Lesson number 2. We need to live our lives with love for other people. This is happening in brotherly love, brotherly communion. So if we do not have that brotherly communion, we will not win the spiritual battle, and our lives are not led in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Lesson number 3. The authentic spirit of humility is the sacrifice of self. So to lead our lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ, we need to humble. We need to be humble. We need to humble ourselves. Not be too proud of ourselves. We need to humble ourselves. And Jesus said, if you want to be the first, be the last. And if you want to be the last, you're going to be the first. Let the Lord elevate you. Do not elevate yourself. If we have to live or lead our lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. And lesson number 4 is the example of Jesus Christ, who demonstrates that the sacrifice of self produces everlasting joy. When you sacrifice yourself for others, you live in unity with brothers and sisters, your joy will be everlasting. Your joy will be forever. But if you try to be in disagreement with everybody, you do not agree, everything people say, you disagree. You disagree on everything. At the end of the day, you will be alone and you will regret it. And the theme of the church for this quarter, for this semester, is unity. So we need to strive together to fight side by side in unity to win the spiritual battle. And so many churches lose the spiritual battle. So many families lose the spiritual battle. So many husbands loses the spiritual battle. So many wives lose the spiritual battle because even though they live in the same house, they sleep in the same bed, but they're not together. We come to the same church, we participate in the same communion, we break the same bread, but we're not together. And I want to encourage you guys to be together in the Lord. Like Paul said, lead your lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Yet many of you are young, but it is the time to start and to learn how to live in unity. At home, live in unity with your brothers, with your sisters. Live in unity with your parents. When they comment, when they say things, follow. And that's how you grow in your faith. You grow, you become successful because you are humble. Lead your lives in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. And I pray that the Lord continue to bless you and to lead you and to guide you and to inspire you to understand His word today and to take it in and to practice it and to follow up day by day so you may grow in your faith, grow in your education, grow in everything you do, and the blessing of the Lord will be your portion forever. May God bless you.